Hey, welcome in and Merry Christmas. If you're joining us here today, we are building a Christmas tree in The Sims 4. It is just a few days before Christmas, and what better way to get in the spirit than to build a giant Christmas tree? I set myself up for this, okay? Because a Christmas tree is, round in shape. So that meant we were going to use round walls. And if you've ever played The Sims, you know that round walls aren't the best to work with. They can be a little finicky, a little crazy. Sometimes you shrink them and they disappear altogether. It was a work in progress. I say that. It didn't take me long to get the shape, honestly. But then roofing was a whole other ordeal, which you would think roofing's easy, right? Just get some round roofs, throw them on it. Except for round roofs on round walls, when you're doing this layered effect, there's some gapping. And you'll see what I mean as I get in here and start doing the roofing. I tried to avoid using the round roofs and using octagonal roofs, but they just didn't look right. So we kept with the round roof. But as you see round roofs against the round walls when you're in this little tiered effect, there's some definite gapping around the roundness of the rooms. And no matter what I did, it stayed. And I needed the round roofs. It's a Christmas tree. You needed that shape, right? So we just roll with it. I do want to premise this by saying this house is not playable. I did not build a house inside this Christmas tree. So if that's what you're looking for, an actual house in the tree, you can easily go in here, download the shell of this tree and build your own house inside of it. It's layered, it's ready. But when you alt place things, when the walls come down, the alt placed items stay. They don't move. And you'll see what I mean when we get more into this little shell that I'm building. As we put ornaments on it, you'll see they don't move even when the walls and the roof are down. I use these little vampire wall ivy things. They have a name, of course. Did I take the time to learn them? No, I just plastered a million of them all over the walls to give the leafy effect of a tree, but also it helped fill in the gap from this roof. Not much, mind you, but a little bit. It helped kind of camouflage it, if you will. I tried to build the majority of this thing with all the walls and roof up, so that way you can continue getting that Christmas tree feel as we build it. One eternity later, that lush wall ivy is officially on. Now we're in the seasons and we're using this really pretty garland. I like how big it is. It's very bright colored, super pretty, and it's Christmassy. What more do you want? I've got garland wrapped around my tree, so it felt like a no-brainer that this tree would have garland wrapped around it. Plus, it's pretty big and takes up a lot of space. And so we go ahead and use it for the bottom two tiers. And in the top tier, I used the smaller one that comes with the holiday pack. I did try to use the bigger one, but they didn't place well. They were overlapping, and I didn't want to try and alt place them all. So we just used this small one, sized up a little bit. It doesn't have that grand effect, but it still does have an effect. And I think it looks nice. It looks really pretty. So I decided to go into lights because I really want to figure out what will light this tree up. As I'm sorting through the lights, trying to find the perfect one, I find this My Wedding Stories orb. It's called To the Moon and Back, and it comes in lots of colors. It's a ball shape and it's a light. I mean, what better way to light up your Christmas tree and have these very colorful orbs that are your ornaments? It was a really fun choice, and I'm so glad that I decided to look through lights. We just start by alt placing. I'm using 9 and lifting all of these ornaments up and using alt to move them around and decide where their perfect placement is, and kind of just place them very sporadically, and I want to say organically. It's not the word I want to use, but that's the word that's in my head, to really make it look like you've dressed this tree, you've trimmed this tree. And while it looks like all these little golf balls, as soon as I start changing the colors, I just feel like the tree comes to life so much. This is another like one eternity later moment. We have pretty much placed all these orbs now. I decided to use this 4-ring trim. It felt so festive, this little red and white swatch, and it really helped me key in on the theme for this Christmas tree. While I wish these yellow orbs were a little more golden, I like the idea of sticking to this really core Christmas theme of this golden, yellow, red, and white. And it kind of plays into it because the garland that I used is red, yellow, and white. So I tried to just go in here and make sure that there aren't a whole lot of balls that are the same color touching each other, maybe one or two that are close to each other. But I mean, I love it. I think it looks so good. And at this point, was just super happy with the way that this tree is turning out. But like all trees, this tree needed a star. So I used this star mirror. And when you size up a mirror, the mirror doesn't size up with it. So then I was left with this really cool outline of a star. And it was perfect. I was going to use the yellow, but on the green background, you really couldn't see the yellow star as much, so we went with the red star, which I think was the right thing to do. And so here's a little bit you can see. I have all the walls down, and you just have these orbs floating everywhere, which is one of the reasons why having an actual house inside this tree just wasn't going to be plausible. But in the end, I think that this serves as like a really cool, like almost community lot. You could definitely put this in like a town center and have your Sims come visit it. I didn't have a community space in mind when I built it, but I think you could easily just turn it into something cute. I don't know. I built the house. You built the house and they will come, right? Like that's a saying. I built the Christmas tree. They will come. And then, like all classic Christmas trees, you're gonna need a train wrapped around the bottom. Choo choo. Oh my gosh, I'm so lame. So I took this train that we have in base game, sized it up 7 times to be exact, because I wanted to make sure that they were all the exact same size. So I sized them up 7 times and just used all 5 pieces and put them around the bottom of the Christmas tree. Then I took some terrain paint and I tried to figure out what was the best way to get a perfect circle track. So I used one of the bigger circle terrain painter tools, whatever you want to call it. I made this giant circle and painted it. Then I sized my circle down and kind of erased the middle a little bit, as you see me kind of moving around, erasing it. So that way I have this really nice track. It's not perfect. Nothing ever is. Don't come here looking for perfection, because not me. But it gave this really great little gravel track for this train to sit upon. And I loved this part. This like came to me in a dream. Like I was just like, the train at the bottom wrapped around the tree. We always wanted to do that growing up, like have this really cool train around the bottom of your tree. But I don't know how this works. You tell me, did you have a train wrapped around your Christmas tree? Because we always had too much stuff under the tree. There were 5 kids and 2 adults, the parents, and then our family just kept getting bigger from there, right? People getting married, people having kids. Even if we only got like each other like 1 or 2 presents, the presents were just like kind of everywhere. I mean, we're immensely blessed. I have to say that. We have this really great big family. It's not always nice. Sometimes we are like at each other, but we always had a really big Christmas. And so we never could have a train. Oh, woe is me. Couldn't have a train. Oh my gosh. But I just thought it was so cool. It's a goal. One day we'll have like this giant train wrapped around the bottom of our Christmas tree. Maybe when my kids are older and they won't try to play with it, because I can't imagine that that would be a thing, that they would just let a tree sit there and not want to run it. I contemplated building a basement house, but once again, round walls are just so weird. So I put a staircase in, and this was just a rough draft, right? I was trying to see what it would look like. And you see right there, it's crazy mess. You see the grass inside the house. And then the lighting downstairs, even when I put a bunch of lights down there, it was very weird. You could make it work. If you wanted to, you could make it work. I wasn't invested. I wasn't invested to make it work. I wanted the big fancy tree. I wanted to make a tree in The Sims 4, a Christmas tree in The Sims 4. And so that's what I did. I do put a little window and doors down there because I just think it's cute. It kind of makes me think of like a fairy house, you know, like just this little door at the base of your tree where fairies could go. But obviously this is Sim sized and we don't have fairies in The Sims. I know, sore subject. But I really liked it. I'm having fun. And I think that's the point, is just to have fun, especially at this time of the year. Everything is so fast paced and everyone is so stressed and it's crazy. I mean, what are you doing if you can't just like have a little fun and be silly? And so that's what we did here. There's not a ton of landscaping. I put a little bit around the house. We used the low-lying pale yellow flowers, which are one of my favorites. And then I go in with red and white flowers wrapped around the house. I wish there was more red flowers. I feel like all the red flowers look really similar. A little red flower with a little yellow. They all kind of resemble each other. So I do wish we had a little bit more variety, but it's fine. It works. And like I said, it wasn't a giant landscaping project. It was just a little simple around the base of the tree. And then if you're seeing this, I know that these lights are hanging off of the round walls. I do. I don't care. Having fun. Lighting up the base of the Christmas tree. You know, they're flat anyways. You can barely even see them from this angle. So, you know, you don't notice it. And it lights up the bottom. The base of the tree needed light. Like in the daytime, it is dark down there. And you know, it's got a giant like tree on top of this little stump. So of course it's going to be a little dark down there. It's fine. We're all good. Once again, I set out to build a Christmas tree in The Sims 4, a giant Christmas tree, and we have accomplished that. So anything else is just extra. From here, it was the decision of how do I decorate the surrounding area? What is this going to look like in a giant landscaping way? And what better thing to go around the Christmas tree than Christmas presents? Sized up 1,000,002 times. So I search present and we get the 4 different stacks of presents that we have in The Sims 4. And I sized them up 1,000,002 times, like I said, and just placed them around the Christmas tree. So fun, right? Like you can't deny that that's so fun. These giant presents. It really begins to look like this like town square monument of a tree, this great advertisement. I put Frosty there. He's with us, but Frosty does leave. You don't see that, but I end up putting 2 giant nutcrackers right there because they're nutcrackers and Frosty needs snow. Didn't you listen to the song? He melts. He's got to have some snow. Then we take these little My Wedding story, their hearts, and then they have this great star swatch. We kind of line the little pathway, get a little terrain paint, make a path to the house. And I mean, that's pretty much it. We're going to go ahead and add terrain paint under the trees, under Frosty, who doesn't stay, right? He goes away. We get the nutcrackers. But that's pretty much the entire Christmas tree. And I'm a happy camper, like really happy with the way this turned out. So fun, so pretty. Let's jump into the screenshots. I hope you enjoyed this video. I had so much fun building this giant Christmas tree. It was just really great to do. So fun and silly. Even if it's not something super playable in The Sims, it was still so worth it to just have fun, get in the Christmas spirit, and build this really silly but beautiful Christmas tree. If you like this Christmas tree, it's on the gallery. You can have it. It can be yours. My EA ID is katxthrash, just like the name here on YouTube. If you like this video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely keep coming back for more. I'm always doing builds because that's what I love to do. I love to build. I have a Let's Play, but building is just, there's something so great about it and so fun. And I like that creative outlet. I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Whatever you do, I hope that you find happiness doing it. And just know that you're loved, you're appreciated. If you're here watching this, I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful day, whether you're watching this on Christmas or whether it's 6 months down the line, which is my birthday, by the way, in 6 months. But anyway, I hope you have a great night wherever you are. Bye, y'all.